Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming Channel. I'm going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today, and we're going to be approaching the second dungeon of Dawn Trail. This is another one that I don't think I can pronounce the name without completely butchering it, so we're just going to say it's the second dungeon. Now for the first two pulls, the sprites are spellcasters, so they do a bit more damage than normal enemies. So if you're not a Dark Knight or Gunbreaker, you'll have to watch out for this. The Snow Warblers and the Bias also have cone AoEs that you'll just want to avoid standing in. For the next two groups, again, all of these sprites are going to be doing spell damage, so just be aware of this whenever you're fighting them. Make sure you're using your cooldowns appropriately. The large ice enemy has a large circular AoE that he can throw out, along with the large fire one also having a circular AoE that you just want to avoid standing in. This should bring you to the first boss. In the beginning of the fight, he'll go to the center of the platform and then cast a party-wide AoE that will also add a damaging zone to the outside of the platform. He'll then cast Fluffle Up, which will summon adds onto the platform, each having an arrow on them as to where they're going to do an AoE that will cover 1/4 of the platform. He'll then tether to two of them and freeze them in place. This is going to cause those AoEs to be delayed. You want to stand on the side of the platform that the frozen adds are going to hit first, and then reposition after the unfrozen ones go away. He'll cast Fluffle Up one more time, summoning 4 adds that are a bit larger. These ones are going to do large circular AoEs. Just stand towards the center of the platform to begin with until he tethers himself to 2 more of the adds and freezes them. You'll then reposition into the side of the platform that has those 2 adds, and then reposition after the first AoE goes off before the second one does. He'll then cast Snow Scoop. This is going to do snowballs on the outside of the platform that you'll just need to avoid standing in the line AoEs from them. You'll have a quick moment to reposition after the first set goes off, before the second set will roll across the platform. And then while this is happening, there will also be circular AoEs on all party members that you'll just want to not overlap. He'll then go back to the center of the platform, casting Fluffle Up one more time. This is going to summon both sets of adds onto the platform. After the adds designate their locations, he'll then tether himself to 4 of the adds, so you'll need to find the safe zone in between all of them, wait for the first set to go off, and then reposition into the opening afterwards. He'll then cast Frosting Fracas. This is just going to do his party-wide AoE. And then going into another Snow Scoop for the snowball line AoEs across the platform. For the next groups of adds, The Sloth has a cone AoE that he can throw out. Usually whenever he does it also, he's going to do it multiple times in quick succession. It does not look like he'll rotate either, he'll just do it in the same location. So just stay out of the AoE and you can avoid the multiple hits. The next two groups, there's going to be Tooth Sloths, so each of them will have their cone AoEs. Should bring you to the second boss though. He'll start off the fight casting When Unbound. This is just going to do party-wide damage that you'll have to heal through. He'll then go into a Crystalline Crush. This is going to do a group up AoE on a pillar that you'll need to group to split the damage for, and this will leave rocks behind on the ground. He can either follow this up with an Earthen Shot or a Wind Shot. Earthen Shot is going to do a large circular AoE on the crystals along with a circular on all party members, so you need to spread out around the platform. Wind Shot will do a donut AoE on the crystals along with a donut AoE on all party members, so just group up so that you're standing in the middle of everything. He'll then do Crystalline Storm. This is going to do several small line AoEs that will leave behind the crystals on the ground. He can either follow up with another Wind Shot, which will do a donut AoE on all party members along with an AoE that hits the entire platform except on the crystals. And then Earthen Shot is going to do a circular AoE on all party members along with large line AoEs along the lines of the platform. So just move into either the openings on the outside of the platform or in the very center. He'll follow up with another Wind Unbound for party-wide damage, before doing a Seed Crystals. This is a circular AoE on all party members that will begin to slowly cover everyone in crystalline debris. You'll need to kill these before the party member is completely enveloped. He'll then cast Sharpened Sights. This is going to do two AoEs, one being a donut and the other one being a circular AoE. Each of them will also have a look away effect to them, so make sure that you're either getting close to the boss or moving away from him and looking away at the same time. He'll follow up with another When Unbound. This is going to do another party-wide AoE. And then followed by a second Wind Unbound shortly afterwards. He'll then go back into a Crystalline Storm, so avoid the circular AoEs to begin with, and then depending if it's either a Wind Shot or an Earth Shot afterwards, then you'll just group up or spread out to avoid the AoEs. The Wind Shot and Earth Shots happen in completely random orders, so you'll just have to pay attention to what's happening in your fight. For the next groups of ads, the Cloud Traps are ranged units, so you'll want to break line of sight to make sure that they're coming towards you so that everything's all grouped up. The Iguanas have cone AoEs that you'll want to avoid standing in, and the Tulichu has a circular AoE he can throw out also. There will be one cloud trap in the next group. So again, after you pick all of them up, since there is nowhere to break line of sight for this one, make sure that you're going back and tanking on top of the cloud trap so that all the ads are grouped up. The pitcher weeds do have a cone AoE that you'll want to avoid standing in, and then the two Lichus have their circular AoEs that you'll want to avoid as well. And this should bring you to the final boss. Now when you start off the boss fight, he'll start with a heaving haymaker. This is actually going to do party-wide damage and then create a damaging zone on the outside of the platform. He'll then go to the front of the platform and begin to cast Stonework. This has one of two variations and he'll do them back to back, so you're going to see both of them. If it's the fire one first, like you see here, it's going to do an expanding AoE. So it'll do the 4 squares around it, and then followed by the next set of squares, and then the last row. He'll follow this up with a circular AoE on all party members. So you'll just want to move between these AoEs and then spread out to avoid overlapping. He'll then do a water pillar afterwards. This is going to do a push mechanic from the side that the water tile is on. You can use knockback prevention to avoid this if you would like. He'll then do a sledgehammer. This is going to do 3 sets of group up AoEs, so make sure that you're staying grouped up in a line to spread the damage for this. He'll then follow up with a arcane stomp. This is going to generate orbs around the platform that you'll want to run into to absorb them. Each of them will provide you a damage up buff, and you'll want to prevent the boss from picking any of them up if possible. So the more that your DPS characters can pick up, the more damage that they will do at this time, but there are so many of them that everyone will need to be contributing to pick as many up as possible. He'll follow up with Enduring Glory, which is going to do party-wide damage that has increased depending on how many stacks of the damage up buff that he was able to grab. He'll then go back to the front of the platform and cast Stonework one more time. This is going to do a wind one from the center of the platform. This will do a knockback, so you just want to position yourself towards the corners to avoid being knocked and the damaging effect on the outside. Once this happens, it's going to generate multiple tornadoes that will begin to rotate across the platform. And then after these get about halfway across the platform, he'll follow up with another knockback from the center. You can use knockback prevention to prevent the second knockback. Is the easiest way to avoid getting pushed into any tornadoes or the outside of the platform if you're having to reposition away from the middle. He'll follow up with another Stonework, which is going to combine the fire and water tiles at the same time. You'll want to position yourself on top of the water tile so that you are pushed from it into the original location for the fire tile, which is going to cause you to be pushed into the safe zone. And then immediately spread out so that you avoid the overlapping circular AoEs. He'll then do another Heaving Haymaker for party-wide damage. And then follow up with a Sledgehammer for the triple line AoEs that you'll want to group to split the damage for. Follow this up with another Heaving Haymaker for more party-wide damage. And then going back to the front of the platform and starting to repeat the fight with his stonework with the wind AoE in the center. But this is going to be it for the second dungeon in the Dawn Trail expansion. I hope this helped some people out. If it did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you on the next one.